computer is picking up a strange signal. Here, sir, you better take a look at it.
Hello and welcome to episode 92 of Life Through a Prism with your host Rob Tierney. Each episode we may cover topics such as disability, LGBTQIA+, pop culture. Today's topic is from the LGBTQIA+ category, specifically intersex. The article is from qnews.com.au entitled Oz Peak Medical Body Calls to End Intersex Medical Intervention, written by Dean Arcuri, dated 14th of August 2025. The Australian Medical Association is calling for a deferral of surgical interventions for intersex people until they can give consent. The peak professional body for doctors in Australia, the Australian Medical Association, or AMA, has passed a motion that could put an end to unnecessary and harmful surgical interventions for intersex Australians. Intersex people are born with innate variations of sex characteristics that don't fit medical norms for female or male bodies. As the intersex community has grown more visible, we have learned how common unnecessary and irreversible surgeries are to individuals, especially when they are too young to consent. Yes, some procedures and treatments are necessary, but it has been found that many are not and can have negative impacts both physically and mentally later in life. At last week's AMA National Conference, a motion passed that can change that. Dr. Thomas Drake Brockman moved for the AMA to recognise innate variations of sex characteristics as natural variations in humans, oppose pathologization of intersex people, calling for the deferral of all non-urgent medical and surgical interventions for those who cannot give personal and informed consent. I'm delighted that the motion received unanimous support from the National Conference, Drake Brockman wrote on LinkedIn. This will now proceed to the Federal Council and can be expected to drive significant policy and advocacy work across the AMA. Recognising harm is the first step. In March 2023, the ACT passed a landmark legislation that was the first of its kind in Australia, protecting intersex people from unnecessary medical interventions. This legislation follows decades of advocacy by intersex people calling for protection in medical settings, asking for such unnecessary procedures to be deferred until a time when the individual can consent to what is happening to their body, so they are not left with the physical and psychological scars of medical decisions made without their say. The hope was that other states or territories' legislation would change to reflect national protections for intersex people. Now, with this motion, the AMA's Federal Council can advance that. Recognising this harm is the first step, Dr. Drake Brockman wrote on LinkedIn. Next, we must call for legislative protections, guidelines founded in lived experience and evidence, and the social progress towards a future where we are all accepted in all our similarities and differences and live our full and best lives. Here is an Instagram post dated August 7th, 2025 on the Intersexion.org.au account. Intersex resolution receives unanimous support from Australian Medical Association conference delegates. The Australian Medical Association held its national conference last weekend, and in exciting news, Dr. Thomas Drake Brockman moved for the AMA to recognise innate variations of sex characteristics as natural variations in humans, oppose pathologization of intersex people, and call for the deferral of all non-urgent medical and surgical interventions for those who cannot give personal and informed consent. Dr. Jasmine Davis seconded the motion, and the motion was passed with unanimous support from the National Conference. The motion will now advance to the Federal Council, where Dr. Drake Brockman says it can be expected to drive significant policy and advocacy work across the AMA. What do you think about this announcement? Would love to hear what you think. In the show notes, there will be a link to an informative free video on intersex people entitled Intersexion Boy or Girl. It's well worth the watch. Let's have a conversation. Till next time, take care and bye for now.